The National, they're very critically acclaimed. They've won Grammys. They're definitely a band for ones in the know. I haven't heard much of The National, but today we're going to go through their brand new album, the first 2 pages of Frankenstein. Al, you're definitely one who is in the know. You love this band. What actually just makes you float your boat?
Yeah, good morning, mate. Look, this band have been around for, nearly 24 years and have produced, in my opinion, some of the greatest music kind of going around during that time. I think their unique sound of, Matt's kind of vocals, this deep, dark kind of vocals over this beautiful kind of music that the gents have made over the years have really kind of allowed their distinctive sound to become... I don't know, almost iconic in a way. So this album, which has been a couple of years in the making due to Matt's mental health and kind of writer's block, has been a long time coming, I think. So it's going to be interesting to have that conversation, mate.
I haven't listened to a lot of them in the past. I think the ones that come to mind are I Need My Girl and Blood Buzz I Hire. I think they're the 2 ones that I'm into. Were they in a Parks and Rec episode? Like I'm actually thought they were. Do you remember them actually landing on an episode from Parks and Rec? I was actually.
You mean the music or the actual?
The actual band. I don't know. Look, maybe it's one for people to maybe in the comments let us know. I thought they did a cameo, but
no, they might have. Not too sure, mate. Not too sure.
That's all right. So. First 2 pages of Frankenstein, what were your initial thoughts on the album?
Yeah, look, I was pretty intrigued when I heard that there was going to be some special guest vocalists on this album, the likes of Taylor Swift, Phoebe Bridgers and Sufjan Stevens. For me, it's possibly album of the year. This is an absolute belter of an album. Now, for those National fans that are kind of used to, I guess, the hits and the more rock and roll side of stuff, might be a little bit disappointed, which there's a couple on here, don't get me wrong. It's definitely more of a softer side, this album, but for me, mate, it's an absolute ripper. I'd be interested in your initial kind of thoughts. I know you've listened to it a few times.
I did listen to it a few times. I mean, it's amazing, these collaborations, right? I think if you get to a certain level of stature in the music industry, that's what you try and do. You try and broaden your market and you try and collaborate with others. So it's probably my favourite track, the Taylor Swift collaboration with the Alcott. But look, I'm not so sure. Like, are the Tay-Tay tribe and the National tribe, they're the same, mate? I'm not sure if they're the same. I don't know if you're broadening them. Like, I know my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, is like a massive Tay-Tay. I'm not sure I'm going to make her listen to the National. I'm not sure if they're quite overlapping there. But like, I think it was all right. Like, I think that it's I must admit that there are some things with the album, and I think the National in general, where I think that they're good, but I just don't sort of find a reason to really like them. It's sort of the greatness for me is sometimes where there's a little twist in songs that exist. It might be a chord change, or it might be something to do with the vocals. They do go and plod along, and it's sort of very much the same as about. And I'm not sure if that's a criticism or not.
Yeah, and look, this is one of their shortest albums, so I don't know. For me, I was a little bit worried when I heard it was going to be a bit more kind of melancholy than kind of previous records. However, after about the 3rd listen, I just kind of thought this just really, really gels well. I love the fact that the guest vocalists don't overpower the songs as well. I think Matt's vocals really kind of still dominate that kind of National kind of feel, because you always worry when they're going to kind of collaborate that it's going to be a little bit of a, bit of a whitewash kind of thing. But I just think it works really well. And I'm interested in the conversation today, mate. Now, I haven't given you any pre-warning about this, about the chicken and the egg. Now, I did some research on the National, and they are one band that kind of does things a little bit differently. They develop the music first and then give it to Matt to do the lyrics. Right, okay. Now, a lot of bands that I'm into do the other way around, like say the Manic Street Preachers. They do Nicky Y does the lyrics first and then hands it over to James to do and Sean to do the kind of music around it. I'd be interested in your thoughts on this kind of concept.
That's an interesting. I'd probably go the music. I'd probably take that approach, I think, but I can see how you'd do it the other way, where if you had a bunch of lyrics and you wanted to create an atmosphere that actually fit around those lyrics. I mean, it's sort of interesting because what you could get is a tune that might not be in sync with what the writer
Absolutely
actually wants to write. So I had no idea of that, and I'd be interested to know other bands who might take that approach, because I'm guessing that there would be some that would take that approach, and, as opposed to the other way around.
I think that would I don't know whether it will be harder or not. Like, so you imagine you've got a beat that's kind of given to you, you've got a piano or a guitar introduction, whatever it is, and then you're either thinking along the lines of a kind of theme or something that's going on in the world or whatever it is, and you're putting lyrics to that. Would that be easier, or is it easier to write the lyrics first and then kind of come up with... I reckon it's a fascinating kind of conversation.
I don't know, if you wanted to write a song about how life is terrible and it's got a sort of upbeat tune to it, I don't know, I'm not sure how that would sort of equate. But so probably moving on to the rating. So I take it you've shown your cards, and you're sort of saying it is pretty much alongside of the album of the year, or to a contender. And look, they've won Grammys before, they've got form. What are we saying out of 5?
Yeah, mate, look, with tracks like Eucalyptus, Tropic Morning News, the Olcott that you mentioned before, my particular favourite towards the end, The Mind Is Not Your Friend, mate, I'm going to have to give this 5 stars. It is absolutely fantastic. Now, that's a big jump from the last few reviews that I've done with Smashing Pumpkins, going from 0 to 5. So that's huge, mate.
I'm not going to give it so much. I'm giving it 3.5. So we've got a bit of a gap here. Look, I don't think it's offensive. It's not offensive news. The Smashing Pumpkins, God, I think you could probably put it in that category. But it's sort of, as I said, when I like listening to an album that I get addicted to, there's usually a twist with a lot of the songs.
Yep.
And I think this is what's absent with the Nationals music. So it's either like a chord change or something like that. And I just, I can't see when I'd be listening to this album. So, like, if I was listening to it at work, I'd get to work.
Yep.
I think I'd just be down on myself. I don't want to be down on myself going to work. And look, I think if I was listening to the gym, I just don't think I'd get ripped, with this type of music. So I'm just sort of thinking, where would it actually fit into my life? And I think that's probably why I'm giving it. Look, it is good. It's fine.
Do you think it's just because you're not cultured enough, or what do you think the issue there is?
I don't know. I think it might have something to do with. I don't think they're my kind of people. I don't know. I just
okay.
Look, I just think that.
I guess it's more about a level of sophistication and all that kind of stuff, really.
Look, that they've got a sort of a reputation as being a sad dad. I tried not to be a sad dad, so maybe that's what it is. We're probably a similar age, so I'm sure they'd look down on me and my life choices, and that's probably part of the reason I don't think we'd get along if we're in the same room. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So that's an interesting review. So we've got a 5-star rating. It's probably the first 5-star of the year. That is our review of the first 2 pages of Frankenstein. That wraps up another episode of Indie Miners. Please look to subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, and let us know if there's an album you would like us to look at. So until next time, bye for now, and thank you for watching.